Hi everybody, welcome to Sophie's Tales channel. Make yourself as comfortable as you can and leave your worries and stress behind. This time is to relax. Take breaths and feel the tension leave your body. Close your eyes and dream the story I am about to tell you. A romantic story about the value of love that became the most famous ballet. Swan Lake. Once upon a time, a prince, perhaps the most handsome of all fairy tale princes, lived with his mother in a great and splendid palace. Nothing pleased him more than to invite his friends and feast with them till the morning. Sometimes they danced under the trees in the garden and sometimes in the ballrooms of the palace. But his mother was not at all pleased with her son's restless life and often argued with him. "My good child, how long will you continue this life? You have grown up," she told him one day. "Tomorrow, when you turn 18, we will call all the princesses so that you can choose one of them to be your wife." "Tomorrow is still far away," he whispered, and approached his company, who were dancing in the moonlit garden of the palace. But in a moment, a soft rustle was heard, and a flock of all white swans lit up the night, flying over the heads of our prince and his guests. "Let's go to the lake to hunt the swans," he shouted excitedly without a second thought, and rushed to take the bow and his arrows. They tried in vain all night to hit the swans with their arrows. They flew fast and disappeared in the sky. The lake that night was silver, as if the full moon had dipped into it. The prince left his company and stopped to rest a little on its bank. And then, as if something flashed before his eyes, so suddenly, and the most beautiful woman he had ever seen appeared. "Who are you?" he asked her in a daze. "I am the queen of the swans, who just before you signaled to kill," she answered him. "Impossible," squealed the prince. "A wicked wizard turned me into a swan, me and my friends. Only at midnight do I take my human form, to be transformed again into a swan at dawn." All night he listened to the sad queen telling her story, and he loved her very much, very much. "Is there no way to break the spell?" he asked her desperately. "Only one. Love. True love. But then you are free, because I love you. I love you truly," said the prince and knelt before her. Immediately, a black owl flew out of them. "The evil sorcerer," whispered the swan queen agitated. "He's here and he's listening to us." "Don't be afraid," said the prince, holding her hand. "Tomorrow you will come to the palace, to my birthday ball. There I will announce to the whole world that you will be my wife." The girl sighed happily in the prince's arms. and thus, embracing, dawn found them. It was still dawn when a group of girls hurried up to them. Then, to the surprise of the prince, he saw his beloved transform into a swan and slip from his arms, flying away with her companion. The next day, everything was ready for the great ball. The prince stood impatiently by his mother's side and welcomed the princesses, who tried as if to impress him with their presence or with their dancing. He would choose his wife tonight, and everyone wanted to be the lucky one. "Well, my child," his mother asked anxiously, "have you decided?" But the princess's heart only beat for one. She hadn't appeared yet. Until the doors to the great hall swung open. The music stopped, and all eyes turned to the new guests. A man and his beautiful daughter walked into the hall, dressed in black. "Finally," said the prince, and ran to kiss the hands of his beloved. But he stood motionless in front of her for a moment when he met her icy gaze. And yet it was her. She couldn't be another. He immediately turned his head to his mother, saying, "She is the woman I love, none other." But alas, the real Swan Queen appeared at the entrance of the hall, dressed in all white, and heard it all. She couldn't believe that her prince, the one who had sworn eternal love to her the night before, was now holding another girl in his arms. Weeping, the Swan Queen is gone, running away from the palace. It did not take long for the prince to realize that he had been tricked. The man standing before him was the same evil sorcerer who had transformed his beloved into a swan, and the woman he had with him in nothing now resembled his queen. He desperately ran after her to catch up, but where should he look to find her? Then he remembered the lake where they had met the night before. Running, he crossed the dark forest and reached there. That night the lake was still calm, and the moon, sadder than ever, was shining in its waters. He saw his girlfriend's friends forming a circle, and in the center was her. As soon as she saw him, her face lit up again, and she threw herself into his open arms. The one who a little while ago was crying and swearing to her friends that she would forget him. "I will stay by your side forever. No one can separate us now," said the prince. Many rumors have been heard since then about the two of them, but the evil sorcerer found them and tried to separate them again. But they are not true, and you know it. Because, as the prince told his queen when they were together, nothing is stronger than love.